On Friday, right-wing podcaster and beanie aficionado Tim Pool gave his first interview to Ben Shapiro after being named in an indictment accusing him of taking a massive amount of Russian money. That indictment alleged that Pool was paid $400,000 a month from Russian-backed Tenet Media. Now, the details of his contract, of course, were pretty interesting. Showed that he didn't really have to do a whole lot for all that money. He would take his Culture War podcast that he already put up in his own channel, Timcast, and post it on Tenet's YouTube channel. So, $400,000 a month to do essentially what he was already doing. Why would he get paid for that? Well, because what he was doing also benefited Russia. He was putting out pro-Russian talking points, specifically being anti-funding for Ukraine. Now, he did that to try to turn conservatives against supporting aid to the country that is being invaded by their neighbors. So now, first off in this interview, Pool began by, let's say, minimizing, okay, his contacts with Tenet's Lauren Chen. So Lauren Chen basically has become the fall person in this. Everybody's pointing the finger. Oh, it was Lauren Chen. It's her fault. It's her fault. I didn't know. I didn't know she was she was a Russian stooge. I mean, we were unwittingly misled by this Lauren Chen girl and her Russian company, the backed company. Oh my God. So now, as a result, Chen has been fired by Blaze Media. Everybody's pointing the finger at her. And she's probably never going to work again, in conservative politics at least. So, that said, here's what Tim Pool had to say.
Oh, I barely even talked to Lauren. And it's kind of crazy. I've known her for a long time. So when she said that she was launching a company, she had investors, I'm like, okay. I mean, I hear that 50 times a year. And in the podcast space, we just heard that I think Travis Kelce is getting a $100 million contract. So these numbers are, that's where they're at. I think people don't realize how big the podcasting space is and the revenue that you generate from sponsorships and memberships. So it seemed kind of, I don't know, mundane to a certain extent. A lot of people think these numbers are huge.
Well, $400,000 a month. I mean, it's kind of mundane, I mean, wow, they think that people think these numbers are huge, but oh no. I just kind of gave up the game on that one. Yeah, turns out there's a ton of money in right-wing podcasting. Look, $400,000 a month. I have never seen that amount of money before. We don't have that money on the left. It doesn't exist. It's not real, right? You're getting big Soros check. No, never seen a damn Soros check in my life. Boy, it would be nice to actually have some money, but apparently no. Hey, look, actually the money does exist, but you have to go over to the right wing. You have to pull a Dave Rubin, who, again, they've gone down the right wing track. That's a great example. Suddenly I am a classical liberal, and I have left the Democratic Party because they've just begun a regressive left. Oh, would you look at that? A mansion just popped up. Weird. Yeah, weird how that happens every single time. Every single time that a supposed left-winger has left the left and went over to the right wing, they get showered with money and praise. Look, Dave Rubin, pretty sure he didn't wake up and suddenly realize, I am a conservative. No, he woke up and was like, I want to make money. How do I make bank? Oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and pretend to be a right-winger. Okay, great. Now, of course, Pool went on to say, it's a lot of money, but that's why I really didn't need any. I didn't need it. He said the amount of money that we were offered for the show was around market value for the offers that we had already received. And that I'm guessing he turned down. So he turned down the other offers, but accepted the one from Lauren Chen, financed by the Russians. He also said that the money was inconsequential, and said that the only reason that he agreed to do it is because, it'd be funsies. It's funsies. Well, if it were funsies, then why would you take the money? But I already knew Lauren Chen, except that I barely talked to her. Okay. But I do know Benny Johnson and Dave Rubin, and those guys are total victims. Total victims. Really? Well, if you're victims and the money is inconsequential, then are you going to give it back? Are you going to give the money back? No, I doubt it. He's not answering that question. He was asked about it. He's not answering that question. Look, here's the reason why. Tim Pool, the one thing he's concerned with is money. Of course. That's all it is. He built a brand for himself so that he can make the money. That's what they do. And that's what it comes down to with a lot of these people, okay? I don't know what Tim Pool actually believes because he's not being honest with you. He is about money. And there's a lot of money on the right wing. And look, if you go, and by the way, the big grift that they love is be a disaffected leftist, speak against the left, and then you get showered with money by right-wing billionaires. I mean, look, you get this billionaire funding, okay? And then when Republicans win, all the money that you just made from, selling out the left and becoming a right-wing millionaire, guess what? You save money in taxes. So you don't have to pay taxes on it when Republicans win. That's it. That's a grift. It's pretty simple, okay? For people that haven't figured this out yet, like this is some mind-blowing revelation. Oh my God, did you know they actually get paid by billionaires to do pro-billionaire and pro-Russian talking points? Oh my God. Could you imagine? Now, here's the thing. Tim Pool did some rather good negotiating, right? He didn't really have to do anything special, okay? His deal wasn't even exclusive. The content that he put up on Tenet, which got fewer views, by the way, for $400K a month, was also going out on his other channels. So not even exclusive. And he ended up making a lot of bank doing things like this.
Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine.
And then we're supposed to believe that guy just came around to that opinion when he was getting $400,000 from a Russian company. Yeah, okay, sure. So, now, by the way, that talking point, that's why you see Republicans, Republican officials and other media figures be so far against aid for Ukraine. 37% of Republicans in a University of Maryland critical issues poll said the United States should support Ukraine's defense from the Russian incursion for as long as it takes. It's 37% of Republicans. 52% of Republicans respondents said that we are spending too much on aid to Ukraine. Now, wait a minute. The same people want unlimited aid to Israel. You ever notice that? The difference here? So the ones are like, oh, we are spending too much money on Ukraine. We got to pull it back. We got to keep the money for the American people. Israel, we need to give them all the money and all the weapons and everything. We love Israel so much. We got to let Hamas win. We got to give them money, more and more money. Maybe it's because there's nobody out there doing and paying people for propaganda against Israel. In fact, a lot of the money when it comes to Israel actually is pro-Israel propaganda paid for by the likes of AIPAC, which, by the way, in the primaries that they've gotten involved with, they don't actually, make Israel an issue at all. They just will lie about the positions of Democrats in these primaries. And so, they don't even talk about Israel. But they are a pro-Israel group, and they are funded by right-wing billionaires. So that said, you have the Russian government that is funding the right wing through their pundits and pushing pro-Russia narratives. That's the reality. So it's funny to call the money inconsequential by then also claiming that it's system market value. It kind of tells me two things, right? Number one, there's too much money in the right. I mean, remember Steven Crowder with his, the $50 million offer for Steven frickin' Crowder? What? No, there's too much money in the right. And the reason is because the audience is filled with gullible marks who are more than happy to support billionaires and foreign countries. And number two, if you see somebody going to the right who might have been, to the left, there's a very good chance that they sold out to grab some of that cash that apparently is just hanging there for, just come up and grab it. All you got to do is just go right wing. Well, Tim Pool, he went and took that bag. However, the funny thing is, at least in this case, taking that bag might end up actually costing him more in the long run. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.